All right, we're going to be adding audio about 6:05, so just bear with us. All right, thank you all for your patience and thank you for coming in this week. We're going to be going into a lot of details this week. We got a special guest, Brother Vince. He'll be coming in speaking on his exact remedies that he'll be able to talk about. In a few, we're going to get started with that, probably close to about 6:20 or 6:30. If not, we're going to just give everybody a chance to kind of introduce themselves, give yourself a chance to probably go into some questions or thoughts or answers. We get started with that first today. And then we'll also talk about any backgrounds that we may have with the revocable living trust. That is one of our main things that we talk about on a week to week basis, how to utilize the revocable living trust along with other trusts and even our social. So if you're here and this is your first time using the social or even the social card, we actually do go into using the social card. We'll also help you with remedies, how to use that as a business. And we'll also speak on how you're supposed to set up a banking system with your social card as well. We actually want people to really, I'm going to say today, we want to get people to really get back involved. The way we started off in our first studies is knowing more about the IRS or the Internal Revenue Service. So a lot of the entryway of knowledge that we like to say that makes you feel comfortable with this knowledge is to actually read a lot of the information that's on the irs.gov website. We don't want you to try to go and get secret knowledge from other gurus or other people and, think that there is a back door to this information. We want you all to get the direct information from the website. And if we're looking at it together, it's a lot easier for us to navigate and understand a lot of the studies together. So a lot of the information that we're going to be talking about is going to seem very difficult to do at times because of our lack of training that we had with taxes. I'll say taxes was never taught. As I know, I talk about it a lot. Taxes is a very difficult topic. I know that we talk about taxes a lot, but that is really required. Like if you're here at some point, you are going to have to figure out how to file your own taxes. We have to feel more comfortable with that first. We'll also get into how you're also able to talk to the IRS. You're able to talk to the IRS, talk to the Treasury. This is a difficult task. Sometimes it may seem difficult to talk to the Treasury. So we want everybody to feel comfortable whenever we say you're doing that as well, whenever you do a lot of these remedies or processes. We're going to say, I don't like to say it's a process. I like to say it's pretty much you complying with, which they'll say is private law or trust law. So you're not doing anything wrong as long as you're doing everything through trust law. But just bear with me. I got a few more things to get into, but I just wanted to open the mic up for anyone who wanted to introduce themselves for the first part of our discussion. And if anyone else doesn't have anything to say at this moment, I'll be able to go into just a first segment to kind of get into a beginning from last week that we talked about with the real estate. But so I just want to give that first time for everyone to go and get started first. All right. So if there's no one that's volunteering at this time, or any comments, questions, or shares, feel free to say those things at any time during the meeting. I'm going to go ahead and get started into what we started from last week, and then we'll jump into our special guest, Brother Vince. He'll be speaking on a lot of information that may be new to some of us, that may be something that we already know, but it may help us learn how to operate. Uh, but I want to make sure that from last week, we made sure that the real estate that some people have, they may not think that you can use the trust. But we've learned from our studies so far, we learned about the usage of the trust with the real estate. So we'll talk about that in just a few. And I'm going to show you a screen that I found right before we started our meeting. And I'm going to ask that question again to kind of get us started with the usage of the trust. So give me just a second and we'll pull that screen up. Here we go. Okay, so one of the questions that I was able to ask from last week, we asked the same question about can I use a trust? Let me see if I asked that question correctly. Yes, can I operate a private leasing agency in Florida? So that was the last thing that we talked about in Florida. But the main point that I wanted to go into, how can a trust operate as as whatever that is? So right here we see a trust is operating as a leasing agency. That was something further as we get into real estate. If one is talking about being in the real estate brokership or being into the real estate realtor and all these different jobs that we saw last week, the lady would talk to you, wouldn't give her your social. So if you were here, you understand what I was speaking of. But if you are here this week, you don't really know about the real estate information that we talked about. But we're going to get into how the whole time that your trust is supposed to communicate and operate with the entities that you're talking to in the real world. We'll say the world that you actually deal with when you buy property, right? So that is the first thing that we want to always talk about is the usage of the trust EIN. I also had another part that I wanted to speak on from the IRS, but I won't be able to pull that up in just a moment. And I was able to go into which we spoke of, the sole proprietor. Let me go back to the sole proprietor. And we went into the trust EIN. And I want to give time for Brother Vince. Is Brother Vince, are you in as well? I want to make sure that you got in.
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. Are you in? You in. Thank you. I'm gonna get you in at about 6:20. Once you get a chance, I want to just do a few intros until you got in. So I thank you for coming in so far. So sole proprietor, I wanted to go as a recap on that of people have never, am I spelling sole proprietorship? Here we go. Have never heard of the sole proprietor. There's two layers of the sole proprietor that we're going to talk about. The first layer of the sole proprietor, some people don't use all the time, is your social. So we're going to go straight to how your social is utilized as the sole proprietor. The way we teach you at, you know, we say the utilization of the revocable trust. So once you have your social as the sole proprietor, this will bring you to the business side of your social. So this is how you're always supposed to talk to the IRS. As you see, even over here, whenever I click on sole proprietor, you see me speaking to the IRS on the business side. So if you're new to this and you never knew that when you call the IRS, you're not supposed to call them on the individual side. You're always supposed to call on the business side, right? So that is very important as we get into the EIN numbers, which is your trust EIN and so on. Now, for your social, you must at a certain point speak about the individual, but we're going to keep it easy for you to understand why the individual is used for the social, even though it's a sole proprietor as well. It's because when you file your 1040 tax return right here, this is when you use your social for the 1040, right? You also use your social on something called a Schedule C. So the Schedule C is why the Schedule C is added to the 1040 is so that you're able to show that you have a business. So this activates your business. If you haven't done this part on your taxes, you have to go back 2 years, you maybe have to go back 3 years, and you may have to amend those things. If you have done that, that's great. But here on out, if this is your first time starting with taxes, this is how we want you to start. We want you to make sure you're always using something they call a sole proprietor. I'll read it real quick, and as I'll close out from this part, it says a sole proprietor is someone who owns an unincorporated business by themselves. So that means you don't need the corporation, you don't need a business, you don't need all these things. You are the business once you have learned how to use your social security card as the operator for the business, right? So that's the hardest part. The next thing is you can't use an LLC at the same time you use a social. It's either one or the other. So they're going to say you have to use the LLC EIN if you put it there for the Schedule C. So some of us have been told to use the LLC there for the Schedule C. What I'm saying is that you're also supposed to have used your social, right? So it's a very important part of your taxes. It's a very important update as you begin to think about making yourself a business, right? As well as another buzzword they use is self-employed, right? So that's another buzzword they use out if somebody's confused what you're saying to say, well, I do the self-employed, right? So that's the first layer of the social being activated to the business. Any questions or thoughts to this? Because this can be a nuance that can kind of lose track of you using the trust, because you got to have the sole prop in place to even use the trust. We're going to talk about that later. Is that if you're using the trust, whether it's a revocable living trust, a irrevocable trust, a whatever type of trust, right? The sole proprietor is what helps you learn how to utilize that as a business. That's what I'll say. So I yield from this point. If anybody have any thoughts, questions, or shares so far, feel free. If not, I'm going to allow Brother Vince to come in, and then I'll be able to present some other things a little later about the real estate and how you're supposed to use a trust to manage, buy, hold, or even obtain real estate. So you're not having to go out and get huge credit scores with your social and all these different things that they teach you. You are able to get real estate without the traditional route. We're going to say the non-traditional route. We'll be able to show you how to gain real estate. So for now, I yield. And if anybody else have any comments, questions, or shares first, feel free to say those things. But now I give it over to Brother Vince. And thank you all for coming in.
What's going on, my peoples? What's going on? I like to interact with my people. I love to interact. Andre, you there? Andrew.
Yeah, Andre here.
Andrew. Blue Nova.
Blue Nova here.
BC Seed. Jay Vickers.
What's going on, sir?
Okay, Jay Vickers. Journey.
Here, I'm here, bro.
Let's get it. Raymond Allen. Hey, that sounds familiar.
Presidente.
Let's go. Richard Brown. Self-trust.
I'm here.
Yeah.
All right, so y'all about to get the 20-minute workout. Can anybody tell me the reason why we have a revocable living trust? Anybody have any ideas or clues of why we have a revocable living trust?
Because that's the law. That's how we're supposed to live.
Okay, cool. So
Protect my assets.
come on now. So we gonna go back to the core.
Avoid
All right.
prohibition.
Doesn't control the control or the court test.
All right, cool. Okay, that's what I like to hear. Now, the main thing that we need to understand, y'all, is that the state of is acting as your guardian. Okay. So the reason why we get the revocable living trust, you would go to Palm's manual, guardianship status, better known as parents patriae. And what it says is, in order to take guardianship and custodianship away from the corporation and not be considered a minor or incompetent, one must be in a revocable living trust and have a trust account at the bank. Do we all understand that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
great.
Yeah, I probably never even knew that the state of is acting as your parent, huh? So we must kill that presumption, y'all. This is part of how we get our status up. So I know me and Wallace we've been doing this for years. So my main thing is, once you create your EIN for your trust and you get your trust documents together, you're gonna get it notarized, then you're gonna take it down to your county recorder, and you're gonna get 3 certified copies with that seal on it. Anybody want to know why we're gonna do that?
Tell me.
Secretary of the State for the
All
U.S. and the state you live in.
Authenticate it.
Okay, that's what I like to hear. Everybody on the same page. But the main thing for getting that trust certified is a gentleman and a gentlewoman always put these corporations on notice, right? So basically, you're going to take one certified trust, you're going to send it to your state's attorney general with your birth certificate and your driver's license with a little note saying, please update your records accordingly. A new trustee has been appointed. All adhesion contracts associated with this name and social security number is now null and void. Have a good day. Govern yourself accordingly. Sign your name, TTEE. Is that making sense?
Yeah, what if you are a naturalized citizen though, and you don't have a birth certificate from
But you
this
but you
country?
got your naturalization certificate though, right?
Yes,
You got a social security number, right?
yes.
All right, let's go. It's on their records. We're also
How do
going to
you
send that. Oh, say again.
how do you sign your name? So for your name, Vincent Edwards, is that what you would put, comma TTEE, or would you do something else with your middle name or dashes or anything like that?
No, you're gonna sign your name regular, but you're gonna play your position at the end. TTEE. You're the trustee of that trust. Is that making sense?
Yeah, perfect. They just have a lot of me believing different stuff about colons and uppercase, lowercase, and things like that. So just wanted to know your direct experience.
Okay. Oh, I'm about to break it. I'm about to break it down for y'all. Now we're gonna do the same thing for the IRS. We're gonna do our Form 56s, our power of attorney. We're gonna send in our trust. We're basically putting these people on notice that we are no longer that corporation known as the all cap name. We're alive. Is that making sense, y'all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I know a lot of y'all have been in a whole bunch of these people's groups, and they got y'all doing all type of stuff. We're gonna break it down to the simplest form because we only do what they tell us to do. So far, we only doing what Social Security Administration is telling us to do, right? Right?
Can you explain the
Oh, yeah.
Palms manual? Um,
Well,
when you break that down, Palms manual, POM.
uh,
What are you saying when you say Palms? POM. You just want
POMS, Palms Manual,
there you
Social
go.
Security Administration, guardianship status. See, we found that back in 2019, but they moved it to Parents Patriate.
Mm-hmm. So that's a very important thing. So what you're explaining, the guardian is the Social Security Administration appointing other people to do this until we take this power back from that position.
There you go. All right, so now that you put the Social Security Administration on notice, the IRS on notice, the state's attorney general's on notice, where they're going to take our EIN, our trust documents, and we're going to take it to the bank and open up a trust account. Once we open up that trust account, we have very much upgraded our status. Now, the next thing you want to do, even though this takes 6 to 8 months, you want to trademark your name. Okay? Once you trademark your name, it's going to show that the all cap name is owned by the upper lower, the living man. And you're going to add your birth certificate as an asset of that mark. What do these corporations trade on?
The birth certificate.
Now we just took control of that, didn't we?
Lovely.
You see, now we the king and queen on the chessboard in this corporation, in this thing called commerce. Did we just land the plane on that, y'all?
I got a question.
Uh-huh.
When we got the 3 copies from the county recorder's office, that's the same copy that's got the trust and the deed on it? That's what you talk about, the complete
Yes,
document?
right. They got that seal because once you got that seal from that courthouse, that's full faith and credit in all 50 states, isn't it? That means it's recognized by higher authority, like
What about
judges.
what about the birth certificate? Did you do that up or did we send them the plain birth certificate?
Just send a plain birth certificate.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have to go through all the extras, y'all. We're going straight to the point. You know what I mean?
Loving this. Quick
I got
question.
you.
Sure.
Oh, when we copyright our name, I'm on copyrightdepot.com. That's one of the companies I was
No.
looking at.
You want
No.
to go to uspto.gov.
Okay.
See, the thing about that trademark is once you go through it and you complete it, now you on their rolls. Now you can use their driver's license because you own it. The living man owns it. Now you can use their registration because the living man owns it. When you get pulled over by the cops, you just tell them to run your license. They'll come back and say, "Have a good day, sir. Sorry for bothering you."
It's
See,
that
because
easy.
it's that easy. So one, we killed the presumption that they are our guardian. We put them on notice. Then we did the trademark. Now we the ultimate living being out there. Make sense? Living man and woman. That's the main thing. We ain't worried about the corporation. We're not that corporation.
What if you've
Question.
already rescinded your license and your plates? How would you go about that?
Well, if I was you, I'd go back and get them once you get your trademark together. See, because right now, when I get in my car, I want to make sure I can get to where I'm going. You see what I'm saying? Do you have them DOT plates or tribal plates and not for hire plates on your vehicle?
I simply have removed everything, so there's nothing.
What part of the states you in?
Well, I travel throughout the West, um, so I'm around. Yeah,
You like California and stuff like that?
I like it usually by the mountains,
Oh
Utah,
well,
Colorado, Nevada,
okay. Well,
Idaho.
it seems to me, well, you better stay in the mountains. But if you go farther outside of that vicinity, you ain't gonna make it to where you going. I'm just saying.
That's why I love what you're talking about. I'm really looking forward to this because, yeah, thank you.
See, because we have a lot of people out there, they want to fight the corporation. You work for me. I pay this. You know, all this other, you want to fight these people, and all they're gonna do is take you to jail. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to fight. You know, and then they got this label that they call you a sovereign citizen. There's no such thing as a sovereign citizen. You know what I mean? But a lot of people want to fight. You know, these different groups, they just want to go at everybody. They want to fight the world. Me, I'm gonna teach y'all how to go through things smoothly without no hiccups in the simplest form. So once we go open up our trust account at the bank, right? We have completed the process of our status. Any questions so far?
I got a question. Two questions.
Come on.
When we sending the documents off, are we doing anything fancy, registered mail and all that?
Nope. Send it regular mail.
Okay. Second question, it might be like an experience. When I had opened up a trust account previously with Chase Bank, they labeled that as a personal account. Now, why they do that, I don't know. I ain't figured it out.
Well, the thing about it is, did you use your EIN for your trust?
Yes, I did.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it because even my trust account at PNC Bank and my trust account at Navy Federal, my
Yeah,
trust account took over everything. I
I
mean, I
got
was
it.
trying. Say again.
I got the same trust at Navy Federal and Chase, but I just know when I'm going to look at them on the app, they list the trust account under personal. My sole prop is under business. And I just can't figure out how they looking at a trust as a personal account.
Okay,
But
so my main thing is, I'm gonna land the plane for you in a minute. The
hmm
trust account has no income, okay? But I want you to hold that thought because we're gonna get back to that.
okay.
Your trust account has no income because the moment you have income for that trust, it is now a taxable event. Make sense? Now you gotta pay taxes with your trust, and we're not trying to do that.
Okay.
So now, oh, you made me forget. I was trying to hook up Zelle to my personal account on Navy Federal, and the lady said, "Well, you're not the authorized user. I mean, do you know the authorized user?" I said, "Well, that's my name." And she said, "Are you the trustee of the trust?" I said, "Oh my." I said, "Well, could you go get the paperwork?" She said, "Sure." She went and got the paperwork. I said, "Who's the trustee?" She said, "Vincent Edwards." I said, "Thank you." But your trust takes over all your accounts. We just don't know it. Did you have that experience at Navy Federal?
Say that again.
Did you have that experience with Navy Federal?
No, Navy Federal actually went smooth. I didn't have any problems with them.
No, I mean the
Chase,
accounts are no, the accounts are already open. But when I tried to hook up my Zelle to my personal account, it had to be authorized by the trustee. You see what I'm
I know.
saying?
I know Zelle is slow through Navy Federal.
Hmm.
but I didn't have any problems hooking it up.
No, I'm not saying. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. When I tried to hook mine up, I had to, the trustee of the trust had to authorize it, and I thought that was cute. You know what I'm saying? Well,
Right.
that is me. All right. So now we got our trust. We got our
But
status corrected.
one
Now let's.
question, one question before you go forward.
Mhm.
You brought up the take the trust because we got a lot of people that are new to this, and some have not even taken our courses, right? So we're assuming everybody has the basic understanding, like we know we're doing this workout. You've done the 3 courses, right? If you haven't done the 3 courses, at least you have the trust course or the understanding of a revocable trust, right? Can you go back and break it down of why you're issuing these 3 certified copies? Because this is an important thing that I see a lot of people are having struggles with the county record. Can you recap on that just a little bit?
Okay. So if you can't get your trust recorded in your county, you can go to Pima County in Arizona and send your trust there, and they'll certified. And we also found out there's a place in Georgia. I gotta call her again. You can just mail your trust to them. Matter of fact, I'll get with Herphany and I'll find out the address of the courthouse in Georgia. You just mail it to them, pay the fees, and they'll send you certified copies. Is that what we were talking about?
Well, yeah, you have the 3 certified copies. One you mentioned, it goes to the attorney general, right? Of that state or wherever you at. What about is it United States Attorney General? Some people may say, well, do I need to send it to
No,
my state attorney general?
your state's attorney general,
All right,
wherever you
perfect.
reside. Yeah, wherever you reside, your state's attorney general. You're gonna send a copy to the IRS. That's your power of attorney. You're gonna send a copy to the Social Security Administration. We're basically letting them know that our trust exists. They no longer have guardianship over us, and we're alive. We're no longer that all cap name known as the corporation.
Okay, I got a question real quick. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I registered my trust with the county clerk, and that's the certified copy you're talking about, correct?
Yes.
I went to the Social Security Administration office, and they gave me a hard time to record it. They tried to make it seem like it wasn't possible. And then I pressed them, and then they said, well, we're just going to record it just to record it because you're asking. But they recorded it, right? So that's 2 out of the 3. So, what was the wording that you used to send to the state attorney's office?
Please update your records accordingly. A
Oh,
new
okay,
trust
that's
a new trustee has been appointed. You see what I'm saying? All adhesion contracts associated with this name and social security number is now null and void. Have a good day. Sign your name, trustee. See
so.
this?
So when you do those things, like um, does when you're updated successfully, that's the term you use.
Mm-hmm.
That what happens in the system? What does that mean? You updated successfully, like certain things you don't
Like,
have to do anymore, or you. I'm
okay,
just
so let
trying to
me
get the clarity.
so let me tell you my experience. I got pulled over. The cop ran my license. He came back 3 seconds later, said, "Sir, sorry for bothering you. Have a good day." I went to go pay for my registration. My registration's paid for. When I'm driving down the turnpike, I never get a bill in the mail. You see where I'm going? See, because once your trust is on record, the corporations can no longer do business with a living man or woman. They can only do business with the corporation, known as the all cap. So as long as you are under that all cap name, you see where I'm going? You are
So
there. Period.
right. You just disappeared out of the system, basically.
No, you're still in the system, but they can't do business with you.
They
They
can't
can't
do
trade
business.
on. They can't trade on your name.
Got you.
Let me
No
tell you how
common.
power. Let me tell you how powerful that trust is. Court cases. If you have a court case and you file your trust on the record, that judge cannot do business with you. When the judge says state your name for the record, what you're going to say?
The name of the trust?
What else you going?
I'm the trustee of the revocable living trust.
Okay.
Anything else? This is what I do. See, I'm going to combine two things together, right? I'm going to make it a taxable event too. So my thing is this: when a judge says state your name for the record, the first thing you're going to say is that name is a trustee of a revocable living trust, but the trust accepts all charges. But before we can move forward, I'm going to need the EIN number to your corporation so the trust can assess the taxes on this case and sit your butt down. What did I just do?
Flip the script.
Hey, I remember that. I remember you said that a long time ago. I
Come
remember.
on, Blue Nova. I knew that
Hey,
name.
that was a cold one. That's the coldest one I ever heard.
So basically, I expressed my trust. I came in as a non-enemy combatant because I accepted their charges. Now let's do business. You see where I'm going? So I'm just saying that's what you say to these people. Now, we got our
So
status together.
real quick. In my scenario, where it's registered with the county and the Social Security, but right now it's not registered with the state attorney, would I still be able to make that statement?
Right, because you're gonna file your trust onto the case. There's a little bit more we can do, but we get to that later. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Mhm.
We gonna get to that later.
Brother Vince, another thing is you going into this because some of us may not have the courage to say those things to the judge those days and times, right? So is there a way maybe it can be written down possibly and then we repeat what's on the piece of paper? Is that another
Yeah,
route?
you can write it down. But normally, if your trust is filed on that case or filed into that clerk of court's office, he already know. You see what I'm saying? He just has to address it, and you have to express it. So regardless, everybody want to be scared of the IRS. Everybody want to be scared of these goddamn judges. But when you let them know who you are and you stand on it 3 times, there's nothing they can do but abandon the ship, right? Come on now, make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense.
Can we further give examples of cases, Brother Vince? Like, so for instance, if I have, let's say, like me, I have a probation, or I may have like a driver's license suspension, or whatever case, right?
Hmm.
Are we saying that this can possibly work for any court case? Who are we communicating with at the court then?
Who securitizes the name and the bonds?
Child support.
We gonna get to
The
that
court,
too.
the court clerk.
Come on now, that's what I'm talking about. So basically, with the clerk of court, she's the one securitizing everything, right? She's the one creating those bonds, right? So we're gonna take a copy of our trust. We're gonna do a 3949A. We're gonna do an affidavit of truth. We're gonna do a 1099A and 2Bs on these court cases. And we're gonna order the QSIP numbers because the QSIP numbers on the case proves the securitization and it lets her know that the IRS is coming. Because you already e-filed these A's and B's and she already received a copy of them. See, what happens is when the IRS gets involved, everybody start running. Is that making sense?
I like it.
What's the timeline on this? Once you do the Attorney General and the IRS,
Oh, y'all could do all
it's real.
you could do all this stuff in a week. You know what I mean? This ain't no long drawn out process. You can do this stuff in a week. Now, somebody
I have
said
a
something about
question.
sure.
Um, so I have 2 court cases for driving with no license, registration, or insurance, and they've already done a judgment on that. Am I able to go back and do this process
Once you
and
order the Q,
file?
once you
Okay.
order the QSIPs on it, how much they charge you?
I don't even know. I haven't received any paperwork from the judgment. I didn't go to court. I didn't go into their court.
Did they give you a bond?
I have 2 warrants out for my arrest right now for them. And so
How much are the bonds?
I haven't looked into it. I have no idea.
Okay, so let's go a little bit deeper now.
Yeah, where would you even look to find that information?
Man, if you can't find a bond, just start at 10,000. That's normally where they start at. But if you know your bond, you got that number because we only file on what we can prove. Now, all these corporations out here, they use a method called money market mechanics, fractional banking. So for ideal, let's go to who said something about child support? Who's that said
Yeah,
something about child?
That
yeah,
was
we
me.
can talk about that.
Okay, I need
That was
everybody.
me.
I need y'all to get y'all calculator out.
Oh, hold on.
Get your
Ready.
calculator, brother.
Ready.
How much you pay a month?
7,
Did you say 700?
yeah,
What's 700 times 12?
8,400.
What's 8,400 times 18? Because we know child support takes out a loan in our names for 18 years for child support, don't they?
$151,200.
All right.
Right.
So now, okay. So now that 151,000 is the amount of the full loan of your child support for 18 years. So what we're going to do is we're going to acquire that with
Why did you use the word loan?
because they take a loan out in your name for 18 years. You just don't know. You see what I'm saying? Is it child support for 18 years?
Mm-hmm.
They already acquired those funds. On
Mm.
anything, any contract that we sign, they already got the money through the Fed window, don't they? When you
Oh,
sign
this
a
how
loan, they take,
you.
huh?
No, I was saying they received the full amount. This how they're able to charge off of every payment, off of every dollar that you pay into it now.
Right. But they already got the full amount of the loan
Right,
pretty much out of your estate, aka trust, right?
right.
Just off your signature, huh?
Mm.
Okay, so now let's break it down, y'all. Let's break it down. $151,000 is what that loan is worth for 18 years. So we're going to acquire that with the A, right? We're going to e-file these A's. Then once we order the QSUP number, then we're going to put that same 151,000 on the B.
What
See
is
what I'm
the
saying?
CUSIP number? What is that? You said it a couple of times. CUSIP number?
A QSUP number is what these corporations use to securitize your loan. Every
So
contract has a QSUP number on it. And if you
how
got
I
a
get
QSUP number, oh, I have a broker that can get them for you. They're $150 a pop. Now, the QSUP number proves the securitization. So if you had a court case, a credit card, or anything from 2001, if you can get the QSUP number, you can still claim on it because it's still being securitized. Come on, y'all. Y'all see where I'm going?
Do you use the TDA? Do you use the TDA for that
No,
to
I
get
don't
those
do none of
securities?
that. I don't do none of that. We're gonna bring
Okay.
the plane in. We're gonna bring the plane in. Now we have 151,000, right? You got your calculator?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
We're gonna use the fractional banking method. What's 151,000 times 10?
1,512,000.
Okay, so now on the bartering, you're gonna put up 1,500,000 on that 1099B, right? And
Okay.
that B is now completed, right? That's us paying them, right?
Mhm.
Now we're gonna make them pay us back on the second B. You're gonna put that 151 million on proceeds. You're gonna put 151 million on cost basis. We have a 24% beneficial interest in every contract. They securitized, apothecated, and traded this stuff on the stock market. They didn't pay us back our 24%, and they didn't pay the IRS on them gains either, did they?
362,000. that
Now
you saying they paying back?
that 362,000 is what's going to go in federal withheld on that second B, making them pay us back. Come on, man. Let's go. We just don't do this for child support. We do this for everything.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But
We do.
I have a quick thought. So just making this make sense, right? So for the new person doing this, are you saying once again, are we filing taxes? Is this dealing with tax
Yes.
forms? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Yes, it is. Now, now that was just for child support. Now imagine all these contracts y'all have signed in your lifetime, all these old contracts, and we're not going to even get into bank deposits. We do the same thing for them too. What makes this process so lovely is that your second B, you'll get a copy back from the corporation on their letterhead, which proves they paid the taxes on it. Y'all see where I'm going?
Hey, Vincent, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems to me that everything that you put your signature and your social security number on sound like they turn it into commercial paper.
Come on now.
That's the real money.
There you go. Now it sounds like we done already took our status back, let them know that we're not the corporation, we're a living man or woman. Then the creditor has returned because now we're acquiring those debts back, huh? And making them pay for the fraud, right?
Mm.
Come on now. Y'all ain't hearing me. Y'all ain't
Yeah.
hearing me.
No, we hearing you all right.
Y'all ain't hearing me. You know what I mean?
Listen. Is there a little procedure thing that you can write down, like how you just broke down the child support thing, as far as like the numbers, this times 12 times 10 divided
Well,
by the percentage?
okay, so this is what we gonna do. Y'all gonna have to give a brother Wallace, and we might have to go through some things. You know what I mean? I'm
Mm-hmm.
not trying to, impede on what he's doing. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's my brother.
Right.
We've been building for years. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Wallace the one
Mm-hmm.
got me my first check back in 2019 on that trust.
Listen,
It's just, you know what I'm saying?
Wallace is undefeated, my brother. Trust me.
Hmm.
I support this young man.
Yes, and
I'm
the thing
down with
about
Wallace.
and see the thing is, it's just that we learned, through trial and error and through having somebody on the inside that the
Right.
reason why these like my check for 2020 and 2021 came in three to 4 weeks. But after that, it started taking longer. So we had an inside track that said, no, you got to do the 1040 now because they want their beneficial interest out of that contract too.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I started doing my 1040s, they start coming back quick again. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, we on it.
So
Mm-hmm.
do you file a Schedule C?
I electronically file everything. See, now I do things a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? I electronically file just like you do your regular taxes. The only thing I'm doing is adding that second B, and it does the rest
What's
for
the
you.
second B when you say that? First B,
So
the
you're going to acquire it, then you're going to barter it on the first B. The second B, we're going to make them pay us back our beneficial interest.
why you saying B? What's the B? Like
1099,
1099 B?
1099, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. So my main thing is once they send you back that second B on their letterhead, you're gold. Because once you file your 1040, the IRS is going to flag you because your W-2s don't match the federal withheld. Then you're going to set up an appointment. Then you're going to go inside to verify yourself, and then you're going to give them a copy of that B. They're going to look at the B. They're going to go in the system, see that the corporation paid it. Then they're going to escalate your return.
Mm.
You see where we're going? See, because we only file on what we can prove. We don't create credits out of thin air. We file on what we can prove. Period.
One moment. So are you saying there's times that maybe the IRS will hold the refund where you have to actually physically go in? Are you saying
Right.
you actually physically walk into the IRS? Is that what you mentioned?
Yes. You physically walk in to verify yourself. People scared, but you need to take your butt in there because you got all the proof you need. You know what I'm saying? And when you go into the office and you give them a B, You give them the EIN number that's on the B, they're gonna look it up and they're gonna see that that corporation paid the taxes. And you just tell them, I just need my beneficial interest, and then they'll escalate your return. Some states just let it roll on through. Some states they want to be ignorant with you, so you got to go in there and show and prove. You know what I mean? Is that
What
making
is your
sense to
schedule?
everybody?
It's making beautiful sense. The only part I have is I have not been in a position to file taxes. I've been pretty foreign from it. If I were having an expectations of when do I even file? I've heard quarterly, I've heard annually. How often do you file your taxes?
Okay, who in here works?
Me, I do. Blue Nova.
How much you make a year, brother? Not to be in your
I,
business.
me and my wife combined, it was like 186.
Okay, so your wife is gonna do. Okay, y'all both got direct deposit, right?
I put it all in the trust account.
Okay, but do you have personal accounts?
No.
Okay, so everything's in a trust account. Now, what's your trust account? What do the banks do? Securitize or obfuscated, trade it on the stock market, right? They use the fractional banking method, right?
Yeah.
I would prefer that you have a personal account and a trust account. You see what I'm saying? Because what we do over here is once we get the check from doing the A's and B's on our bank deposits for the year, the taxes has already been paid because on the 1099A it says, is the creditor responsible for the taxes? Yes. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Then when we get our check back, we deposited it into our trust account. And so say you get $100,000 back. No, $120,000 back. You get a check, you deposit it into your trust account. What you're
Correct.
supposed to do is divide that by 12. Divide that 120,000 by 12, and every month you transfer $12,000 to your personal account and live life as usual. But then at the end of the year, what we gonna do?
File on that first account.
File on that personal account again, huh?
Right.
So now that
Recycle,
100,
recycle.
that's right. So let's do the math on 120,000. Now you got 120,000 that you deposited into your personal account. What's 120,000 times 10?
A
That's
million
up to the
two
million 215.
What's
That's
24% of that?
what was that 300,000 or something? Somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there, right? But you
Yeah.
see how it keeps
Dang.
going up every year. You just took
Divide by
120,000 and turned it into 320. Then you do the same thing with that 120,000, positive into your trust account again, divided by
mm-hmm.
12. Every month,
Mm-hmm.
transfer that over to your personal account.
Mm-hmm.
Now that 320 then turned into 580. Tell me this ain't generational wealth, y'all.
Mm.
This is called
Their
working without working.
diagram, my mind just blew up, man. Is there a diagram I can look at? Like, oh, it's so good. It's so good. I just need to see where's the revocable, where's the sole proprietor, what does what, where's the exchange, if this, then that. I'm so into this. Thank you.
All right, so like I said, y'all gonna have to get with Wallace. You know what I'm saying? And we'll try to figure out something. You know, because I do give courses. I have a website. I have a Discord. I have over 400 members in there. I'll be rolling. I've been rolling for a long time, but this is Wallace's stuff. So y'all got to contact Wallace. You know what I mean? And we'll set something up. Preferably get you a Telegram group together, Wallace. I can show you more than I can tell you. You see where I'm going with it?
Oh, absolutely. I know these are the private things that remember you mentioned some prerequisites that I wanted to kind of put out that you had said is the county record is a big one. And having the comfort and the courage and the confidence of doing this is very important. So yes, that is what we'll say that if I love that you're explaining to go through me. I'm just gonna
Mhm.
go through the basic things, and then once we get to these advanced, we say money backs and things that you get with the IRS. Of course, you want to feel comfortable with those things. So yes, I'll be definitely able to help you all if you need to get those basic things done first.
Sound like a plan. And if you had a Telegram group, I could show you more than I could tell you. I got videos. You know what I mean? I got people's checks coming back. I got court cases being dismissed. We even getting people out of jail. You know what I mean? I used to have a TikTok, and I had so many followers, people started hating on me. They banned me from TikTok, so that tell you where I'm at.
Let me let me ask you a question. I was just thinking like, so if you had a trust, anything you put in the trust is your property. So if you took your brother or sister that was locked up and put them in your trust,
That is now trust
then
property. Come on.
then you go and file a case and give it to the
Hmm.
clerk
Come on.
and wait for the opportunity to go in front of the judge so they could put it on the record.
Now remember now, when we filing these A's and B's, those corporations, they're not getting that from you. They're getting that from the IRS. See where we going? I
The
don't think that
IRS,
click.
administering the power. That's the power of attorney. The IRS letting
Come
them
on.
know you authorize or certified whatever they
Come on.
messaging.
And you in your
Hmm.
proper status with them. And you let
Hmm.
them know that your trust is involved. The reason why we do power of attorney is because a lot of these corporations are filed. If you don't have a power of attorney, most of these contracts they got to see your power of attorney over you, don't they?
Right.
They'll try to correct your A's and B's. But now that your power of attorney is on record, they can't do it. They got to pay taxes on that, don't they?
Hmm.
I got a quick question. When when we dealing with trust, from my understanding, you got a constitutional trust and a common law trust, like the one the lawyer make and the one I made myself. I got both of them. I be playing with them and experiment, seeing how they play against each other. But how would you say the process would work for both? The one you get
Okay,
from a
so
lawyer and the one that you do yourself. Go
this
ahead.
is the this is the only thing that I'm gonna say. I don't do all that other stuff. I only listen to what Social Security told me to do. If they want me to have a revocable living trust, that's all I use. Period.
Right.
I don't add no extras. I don't go out here getting EINs, doing 1040 ESs. I don't try to make the trust pay the trust. I don't do none of that stuff. I only file on that corporation known as the all cap name and that social security number. And I only file on what we can prove. And that's all the contracts that we have signed.
No, I'm just saying the difference between if you went to a lawyer and they wrote you up a revocable living trust or the one that I did and went to the county myself.
I would never get a trust from a lawyer because in those little guidelines, guess
Uh-huh.
who probably got power of attorney over that trust?
The lawyer.
You see what I'm saying? When you hire a lawyer, what are you doing?
Giving
You
them
give them
power of attorney.
Come on. So he makes your trust. Guess what he gonna do secretly that you don't know about?
You gonna tuck it away. I got it.
That's why I don't mess with no lawyers. I don't mess with no CPAs. You know what I mean?
Right.
We teach you how to do this yourself, and it's not hard. If you got your
This
calculations
was
right,
this was long before I, got involved. But I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
yes. So basically, once you start doing this and you start seeing things in the light and everything start making sense to you, every contract that you sign, you're gonna be like, let's do the math. I know people.
I got. Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish.
I know people got. Now, here's another thing that a lot of people. There's a lot of people telling you not to pay your bills, stamping endorse this and stamping endorse that, and all that other bull crap with these remittance coupons. My thing is this: if you got a $300,000 mortgage, right? What's 300,000 times 10?
Get my calculator. 3 million.
What's 24% of that?
720,000.
Okay, so when you file on that mortgage and you get that check for 720,000, you're gonna take 300,000 out of that and pay your mortgage off, and you still got 400,000 to yourself. Are you mad? So you
That's
see what
when the
I'm saying?
math is mathing, my brother.
There
That
you
was
go.
that was gonna be my next question. Do you pay off the
Yes,
debt that you get? So
yes.
after you operating like this, do you go get debt again or do you pay for stuff cash? Because it sounds
Go
like
get
it's best to
go
go
get that
get
again.
debt.
You got to
So the
move
Than
main
strategically.
so I want you to this is how we move. Don't sign nobody's contract until October. Sign their contract in October, do your A's and B's in November. The A's and B's get sent out. You get your B's back in December, shows up on your transcripts, file your taxes in January. Come on,
you
man.
you talk about purchasing, like if you're gonna purchase some clothes on a home, a car, do it
Yeah.
in October.
Mm-hmm.
That's cold. That's
Come
cold.
on, man. Credit reports, third party debt collectors. If you got stuff on your credit report, do the A's and the B's on everything you don't want on your report. Watch that shit disappear. And you add up everything on your report, right? And then you do the A's
Mhm.
and B's on Experian with that full amount.
Mhm.
You see where I'm going?
And then do the taxes on it.
There you go. Come
Mm.
on now. How y'all like me now, man? How y'all like me now? I can't
So
hear
would you put
y'all.
Experian as the debtor on those forms, or how does that work? Or you put the agent as creditor?
Say again.
Would you put Experian as the creditor or debtor for whatever is on your Experian transcript?
We're the lender. We're always the lender, aren't we?
Yeah, so they'll be the debtor.
There you go.
Listen, I was trying to ask a little earlier. You were saying when you sent out the certified copy to the three places. Sorry, you said something about sending the birth certificate and the driver's license to where?
I'm sorry, my phone was ringing.
The IRS, your
Mm.
state attorney general, and what was the
The
last
birth
one?
certificate and the license along with the revocable trust copy,
That
the
goes. That
certified
goes.
copy.
Oh, you're talking about. You're talking about when he says the USPTO.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was so that's something separate.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, no
Now, like
problem.
I said, I do give classes on this stuff, but we gonna have to create a thing with Wallace. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right,
Nope, no
right, right.
problem, Vince. We can re-add you to the staff with the list where people can choose to book a session with you, right? So we have that session. Remember, we set it up about 3 years ago. But we were just beta testing, but now we can reactivate everything if you're ready.
Okay, so this is what y'all need to understand. I do classes. You know what I'm saying? In the classes, but this is under Wallace though. We can create a Telegram group and do classes. But I'm going to give you the paperwork, documents. I'm going to give you the videos of how to do everything, and then we're going to have homework to do. I'm going to give you homework. See what them A's and B's look like. You're going to post it in class. We're going to see if it's right or not, right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? And then if it's right and wrong, then we're going to move forward. Then I'll show you the video on how to do the 1040. You see what I'm saying? It's just that simple. We take baby steps, but these baby steps are not hard. It's like taking a test and having the answers at the same time. Because if you can watch a video showing you how to do everything, it makes everything easy, doesn't it? And then we'll walk through it together. Is that making sense?
Totally. Can you send me an invoice and I'll send you over a W-9? I think that's part of the process. I think we can do this fourth quarter. Thank you. Ready?
Any questions? Any questions?
Okay, I got one quick question. When you sent
Mhm.
all them documents in and you wrote that statement down, did you have that statement notarized or
Of
anything?
course. Of course
Okay.
you gotta have it notarized.
All
Of
right.
course.
I'm just checking.
Let's go. Even though your trust is enforcing it anyway, because when you signed as a trustee and you sent him a certified copy, that means his boss recognized it known as the state of, huh? Make it make sense. Where y'all
I got,
at? Where y'all at?
I just want to give everybody a chance. But I have a lot of questions, but my main thing is based on what you were telling me. I'm summarizing everything so far based on what you're saying. Is that I'm utilizing my revocable living trust. You're
Hmm.
saying the instrument itself, the trust instrument, is this does this require the IRS, like such as like the EIN or things like that? Do I need to have that in place in order for this to work? Or do I just need
Yes.
the trust instrument?
No, we use the EIN in the trust document to open up the bank account. We're only doing Social Security tell us to do. See,
Is there any?
we're just using the trust to protect us. That's it. We're not operating through it unless you putting your property in it. But other than that, we're only using that trust to hold our assets and then to transfer that out of the trust account to our personal account so we can then create those credits that we need from the personal account. See, because the trust account has no income. Remember, when we file these A's and B's, we making the corporations liable for the taxes. So that's tax-free income. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I mean that's the whole point is the taxes being filed at some point. So I just wanted to make sure, even on the diagram right here, you're more speaking of the living. You kept mentioning living, the
Uh,
living trust. So you're looking at the laws of God, the common law, the creator, the universe, universal laws, and things of that sort. So that's very interesting how you were going into the power of attorney as well. So I'm gonna say this as well. Are they gonna give us a document? Like, let's say somebody believes that maybe the state is gonna give me a document or anything, or the IRS is gonna give me a document. Do they give me a document back when I just say I have power of attorney? Is there like some type of
it'll show up on
wait?
your transcripts.
Okay, perfect. So what you're saying is if I do everything correct, it'll show on my tax transcripts. With
Hmm.
got you. Okay, okay.
Hmm. And see, this, like I said, this process is not hard. People make it hard because a lot of people come from these other groups and they feel that they got to do like 19 different things and there's only 5 steps. You know what
Okay,
I'm saying?
wonderful. Question on the
I,
revocable trust. Are we using our sole proprietor to sign up for that, or how is it separate? Are we using our socials to set up
Now,
the revocable?
how I use my sole proprietor, just last year, I used my sole proprietor with T-Mobile. I got 4 phones, zero down, nothing. You know what I'm saying? For people on child support, use your sole proprietor to open up your checking account so they can't raid it. Come on
let,
now.
hey, Vince, I want to
Uh-huh.
add on just what he said because, like you say, doing a lot of research and studying in this field for a while, that sole proprietor, when I activated that, I don't know that when I'm approaching these people, whether they know or not, that I'm acting as the individual or the business. They just
Yeah.
write it down because I'm using the same number. I just catch them on the back end when we filing taxes.
There you go.
Mm,
We
mm.
like to call it, we like to call it FAFO. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
You're giving me this credit card with 35% interest. Okay, I'll sign it. Mm-hmm. I got you. Oh, you want to give me this car loan with 40% interest? That's fine. I'll sign it. You see where we going?
Right.
Because they don't know that you know. But when them
Right.
A's and B's coming from the IRS, they done found out, didn't they? It's too late. You know what I
So
mean?
so if you go back to them again, will they give you trouble? Or
Nope.
do they? Okay.
Now, another thing that we need to understand too, credit cards. Once you become the living man on the records, you can times your credit card by 100. Okay? We did a forensic audit on a Capital One account. It was only 3,600. But guess what the goddamn amount was?
Mm,
360,000. They
mm,
multiply that thing by 100. But you got to
mm,
be in your proper status. And another thing we need to realize with credit cards, if your account is still open, you don't do the A's and B's on a full account. You do the A's and B's on what you paid into the credit card.
mm,
But if
mm,
it's but if it's closed, you do the full amount. Make
mm,
sense? That's how you keep it
mm.
open.
That's like the 1099-C where it's a closed contract, it's like a cancellation of the debt, but it's still showing up somewhere. So they still collecting on that even if we don't think it's closed, but it's still showing up somewhere.
Now here's the thing. We don't cancel out nothing because when you cancel out the debt, you let them off the hook, aren't you? We don't cancel. We liquidate. You see where we going?
Hmm.
You see where we going? Let's go, said the man. Y'all get me hyped now. Y'all getting me hyped. Y'all better leave me
Okay, so
alone.
that
Wizard
answers.
of Oz.
Say again.
I said the Wizard of Oz. You liquidate them.
We don't cancel out
Mm.
nothing. We liquidate.
So what you're saying is you have to do that B. That's the courage then. Man, that is interesting. He brought up Wizard of Oz. So that's that courage again. When you mentioned that B that goes in to the IRS, we got to kind of verify that. So what you're saying is most of the time this is in the social that we're actually doing this B so it can show on the transcript.
There you
I,
go.
I understand now. I see what you mean.
We on fire, y'all. Let's go. Somebody better put us out. I love it, man. You see, I get hyped when I talk about this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, this is great because the way it works, it does make sense for us to have these back layers like the trust. And you got
Mm-hmm.
to have the knowledge of the trust too, because, somebody can just grab the documents tomorrow, but you didn't read through the trust. So you don't know what it is to be a trustee or like, how do I do this part with the taxes and things? So, yes, I see it is layers that does make your mind think that this does work because I can't see that it doesn't work just the way that you're explaining it. Because even with some things that I didn't realize is the second B that you mentioned. That second B does give you that beneficial interest that we didn't realize that we should get.
I'm gonna send you a video of us back in 21 talking about that second B, Wallace. You forgot more than what you know. We was
That's
going.
And
possibly, man. That's possibly true, man. Because I
No,
do.
I was just looking at the video.
Yeah,
I was-
I just be realizing this stuff because I was like, I didn't do my social. I was looking at the trust side because like we talked about, they take a long time to process the checks. At first,
right.
they were sending them out, but something happened during after COVID, and they stopped sending out the checks as fast. But now on the social side, it seems like they're sending the checks out a specific way. So that's why you mentioned, pay
Mm-hmm.
yourself like the 12K a month or things like that. I see where you're going with that.
that
Yeah.
definitely is fractional reserve banking and money market.
Mm-hmm.
Modern money mechanics.
Come on. We're doing to them what they're doing to us, and there's nothing illegal about what we're doing. We're only filing on what we can prove. And if you got the contract in front of you or the bill in front of you, you can prove it, can't you?
That's correct.
Come
That's
on,
right.
y'all.
That's the bill of exchange then. So that's the
Hey,
whole.
look, you took the words right out of my mouth. That's the bill of exchange. We banking.
We're the richest, poorest people in this world because they know the stuff that we don't know. Why do you think these people be coming over here to living a life like, dang, he got a house, a car, 7
Now I
Eleven,
don't
gas
wonder no
stations?
more. Now I don't
Exactly.
wonder no more. I know exactly what they
That's what
doing.
they doing. Exactly.
I would come
No.
over here too.
Mm-hmm. Just imagine you come over here, your family got a gas station. You know what I'm saying? They make all this money off them gas stations. Then they do the A's and B's on them deposits. Then they get that check back. They open up another gas station. This is in your name. And then
Mm.
they keep come
Mm.
on, man.
If you know
Come
what you're doing,
on,
that's
man.
right. That's right. That's crazy.
If they could do it, why can't us? Why can't us? Why can't we? You know what I mean? Let's get it.
But like you say again, this does give you that layer where you got to feel confident about taxes again. So that's why we started off the whole convo about taxes and how a lot of us don't have that experience where we see that, okay, well, like I say, I can go online, I can go and e-file this. Like you say, this can happen in a week, 7 days. 7 days, I can get my whole life together, right? This is unimaginable, right?
Like
So I
when the
just want to
Lord built the
understand, like, how
world.
can we process this? If we were to try to process this, how would we be able to get a first start, like somebody starting off? What would you suggest somebody just starting out in this knowledge?
Well, the first thing they need to do, they need to get the understanding of what's going on. That's why I started out with the Parents Patriot and the Palms Manual. You know what I'm saying? Because until you realize that you are just a kid in their eyes, I wish we was on Telegram. The state of Alabama just sued TikTok for deceptive actions, acting as Parents Patriot over its citizens. in Alabama. You see where I'm going? You see where I'm going?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The parent, they're playing the parent over all these people.
Right. But until you kill that presumption, you will always be their child. Just like the judge. When you go in there and you say, state your name for the record, and you do the trust thing, and then he say, do you have a driver's license? And you say, yes, I do. You see what I'm saying? They are your parent. You got their driver's license. But once you got your trademark and it's on the record, they gonna already know. And your trust on the record, they gonna already know. They can't do nothing with you because you living man or woman.
Brother Vince, we got a remedy we've been finding lately for that driver's license. What about the passport card? What about the passport card? Would that be something that's taking you out of that driver's license as well?
Well, a lot of times they still mess with you. You know what I mean? See, my main thing is if you're on their federal rolls as do not disturb, do not detain, that's where I'd rather be. You know what I'm saying? Even
Hey,
like,
I got that passport in my car in the trust. I'm telling you, the police followed me for a long time, but they ain't never turned their lights on.
mm-hmm.
They ain't never turned their
Mm.
lights on. I think my car in the trust. Now my truck, I'm making payments on, so I don't like to drive that. But that car, I feel so safe.
Well, wait a minute. But wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did you say you making payments on your truck?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they won't let me
Whoa,
put
Mm-hmm.
whoa,
it.
hold, stop right there. Well, what's the
Mm-hmm.
full amount of the contract?
You know how much they cost? That's about 100 and some thousand.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Yeah,
100,000 times 10?
that's a lot of money.
Bro,
Oh man.
bro. You got
Yeah,
all them credits sitting right in front of you that you in your driving your parking lot, and you don't, boy. Man, where
I'm
my
waiting
switch at?
on Brother
Where's my switch?
Wallace. He told me we had to wait till November, so
Where my
he
cash
gonna
going
he
at?
gonna get me together.
All right, cool beans, man. My goodness gracious, you got all these credits sitting right in front of you, and if you got something older, like you got bank statements from 23 and 24, you better start adding them things up, doing your A's and B's on
Mm.
them, and doing some amendments, and get your credits back.
Well, okay, let's go into this because some of us, like I say, some of us beginners, I'm thinking of this like I'm a new person, right? What if I'm using Cash App, right? Like, what if I got Cash App and I would need
Cash
to
App
do
is
this?
a bank, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it a bank?
Yeah, yeah. In a way, they got a bank that kind
Don't
of,
you don't you have
yeah,
an account number?
yeah. They got the routing. I think they have the routing and
Come
account number.
on. All right, so all your deposits that you got a Cash App for 2024, 2023, and 2022, you need to be A and B in them things.
Mm.
And then you'll do an amendment for 2022, 2023, and 2024. Get those credits back. Zales, PayPal's, come on now.
Even
Come
PayPal.
on now. That's
That's
right.
interesting.
Think about it. Yeah, PayPal. Yep, you are my pal now when you goddamn pay me. Let's get it. Come on, man.
Oh,
Let's
that is
get it.
interesting.
Let's get it.
And then, like I say, this is the social, so the confidence is coming in when we're thinking about this social card, like a business now. So this is all business. It's nothing personal, right? So when we're talking like this, we're talking the person is now. If I'm filing my taxes, I'm not just filing like individually. I'm filing like a business. Is that correct? The best way to think of it if I'm using the social?
Yeah, that's pretty much because they already know that the trust is over that social. It's already on your transcripts.
Mm. Yep. So okay, so are you saying the trust is going to show up also on the transcript or just the social?
That's gonna be your power of attorney. That's gonna say POA on your PO on your transcripts, so you know that your trust is over that.
Got you. I
And
see.
all we're gonna use that straw man, and we're gonna play double dutch. We're gonna go out there get a contract, then we're gonna jump back into private. Thank you, appreciate it. We're gonna look around. We're gonna jump back out in commerce, then we're gonna jump back into private. Thank you,
We're
Got
gonna
you.
we're
appreciate
gonna
it.
use it for commerce
Come on
Mm.
now.
Okay.
to acquire debt and only pull out the interest out of debt.
Come on,
Wow.
man.
All
You gotta
right.
love it. You
But then
gotta
you got
love
to
it.
go back. But then the key point is going back private is the key where we don't get too caught staying in the public too long. This is powerful info because what if you understand how to do this and now you're getting seen, now you have all these things and
Well,
people are asking questions, right?
well, the thing is, I'm so low key. Oh, sorry about that. My phone keep ringing. I'm low key with my stuff. I'm not flashy. I'm not out there, buying $100,000 cars and all these. I'm a humble person. But what you really don't know is I got two trucks in the oil field. I rehab houses for the veterans. I move quietly. You see what I'm saying?
Right, be humble.
There you go. A lot of our people, I hate to say it, but a lot of our people, they get access to some of this stuff, and the next thing you know, you see Lamborghinis out there. And
Yeah, it ain't
pure
it ain't
example.
good to be in everybody's hands.
Look, my big cuz, right? I showed him how to do this. He got a check for 569,000. This dude went out there and bought a Lamborghini and a Hummer, and his wife paid off all these bills, right? And I was like, bro, why you do that? Man, my wife seen that money hit that account, and it was over. I
Fool and
can't,
his money will soon depart.
you know what I mean? But sometimes, you just got to be humble. My
That's
man,
too flashy. It's too
my man
flashy.
Jack, he just got his deposit last week for 1.2 million. He's like, oh my God, Vince. If we was in Telegram, I would show y'all more than I could tell you. You know what I mean? Because I can just forward stuff over to there. You know what I mean? You
Well, a
might
lot
want
of
to create. You might want to create a group, Wallace.
Oh yeah,
well,
I got it.
people ain't
It's
gonna be able to handle it.
it's coming together right now as we speak. We're gonna get the Telegram where we're gonna send the link. Everyone can get it, and then we can add you, Vince. And it'll be a private group for just everybody who's here.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can show and tell. You know what I mean? See, because this is what I do before I even meet people. I show receipts. You know what I mean? Court cases being dismissed, checks coming in. You know what I mean? Conversations. You know what I mean? I just got out of jail. Thanks, Vince. My child support case is dismissed. Thanks, Vince. You see where I'm going with this, y'all?
Yeah,
I go.
Wallace got you on here, boy. It didn't blew his whole channel, but thanks to you.
Well, my main thing, everybody can't get me on their stuff. I don't mess with everybody, but me and Wallace been building for a long time now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
this is the
know?
best call he got so far, boy. This is real good.
But we gonna get it together. See, Blue Nova, remember that? That name is the trustee of a revocable living trust. You remember that, Blue? Let's go.
Yeah, I remember.
So I'm
I
just like,
base. Hmm.
we gonna get it together and then, we're gonna roll it out for y'all. You know what I mean?
For
But
sure.
with- but with that being said, I gotta go to work, y'all. The casino is calling me. It's the first of the month.
All right, brother and Vince, we thank you, man, for all you gave us a good workout, man. You definitely worked me out of everybody who's here. We thank y'all that's here, that's listening in to brother Vince and taking in all this knowledge and info. Any last words, Vince, before you go that you want to give encouragement for everyone?
You are the richest person out there. Look around you. Look at your credit report. Let's look at your bills. That's your beneficial interest. Act like you know. And I'm out of here. All
100.
Enjoy your
Wow, thank you.
right.
All
Peace and
right,
love,
thanks.
everybody.
Peace,
Thank
peace,
you.
Vince.
All right now.
All right, thank you, Vince.
All right now.
That's amazing. All right, so we got everyone that's still here. If y'all have any other thoughts or questions or shares, feel free. We're gonna get Vince that Telegram. We're gonna make sure that Vince, because he likes to use Telegram, that's his best platform. So I'm gonna download it for us and send the link where we can privately get him to answer a lot of our questions. So if you all are here, just make sure that we can get your information in our system, and from there we can, get Vince on. Any thoughts or questions so far on what we need, and any questions were answered that we were able to get with Vince on at this time?
I got a question. I I filed my taxes and I did a Schedule C, as you know, Wallace, but I've never filed a 1041 for the trust, even other trusts that I've had previously. So this would be my first time with with you doing a 1041. You know, it was my first time with that Schedule C. I had been studying the IRS previously, even before I met you. So that kind of what caught me on to linking up with you. I saw how much you was getting mainly your information from what you got off the IRS. And that's where I be reading from. So, I took that step forward and I want to just again tell you I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate you as well, man. I appreciate everybody that's here and all the works we've been able to do. And I'm just humble and grateful for everybody that's learning this because I'm new to it myself. It's been like maybe less than 6 years. Me and the team, we've been working on things. So Brother Vince did remind me, and I'm going to give a display on the screen for some of you all, some of the things I was working at the time that he told me that I was focused on. But let me give a screenshot to what I was saying, what he was speaking of with the 1099B. So this is an example, I think, what he was talking about when we received like a 1099B or a 1099A from someone. So I had someone that gave a 1099A to me from the group one time. They were a member and they did a beneficial amount for the amount to university technicians. So this is an example. I guess one of the members, she did this with a 1099A, right? So you got the 1099A and you have the amount fair market value. We just did the $5,000 right here. So this is an example of a 1099A if somebody's looking at how do I do this, right? She put a gift right here too. So you see in description box number 6, you put gift. So these are layers that you all can start practicing if you're thinking about the forms that Brother Vince was speaking of. If you were new to this, if you had never practiced it, these are some of the things that you'll be using that he was talking about. But I just want to give you all just diagrams and display to this to kind of give a idea of how this will look if you were working it. And if anybody have any questions or thoughts to the taxes, because I know that can be a very difficult thing to get started on. And I'll get into some of the softwares that we use for taxes. Some of the softwares are very easy to use, but we got to get you to, get your information in the system and start to log in more to actually use the software. Any questions so far on the 1099A, an example of how one will look at a 1099A?
On this example for Melissa Bunt, is she utilizing her sole proprietor account or is this her trust account?
That's a good question. So most of the time, like how we're coming in with the knowledge is that the sole proprietor is considered the trust account as well because it's part of the revocable living trust now. So what makes the 1099A work is the revocable living trust, right? So if you use your name, it is using your social. So your social is also considered like a trust as long as it's a sole proprietor. So I guess to answer that question, your name becomes a trust as long as it's a sole proprietor.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding that the whole sole proprietor and revocable trust. So once we file the revocable trust and get that EIN, does that make I guess I'm confused on how the sole proprietor comes in and is it the Social Security now the acting as a business once we file that irrevocable living trust?
Well, what you're doing, you're taking the power from the Social Security, right? So once you have this revocable living trust, it's as if you're taking the beneficiary interest from the Social Security office, and you're now the trustee over the revocable trust. Just as Vince said earlier, like earlier, he spoke of how you take in this guardianship that they had, right? So now you're the sole proprietor. You can't be the personal side anymore. There's no way you can ever go back being personal or individual, right? So you have to become the sole proprietor in order to, we'll say, to do the 1099. Right, that'll be the best way to explain the sole proprietor with the social, because you still use the same social security number, but now you have to think and act as a sole proprietor.
So when we go to T-Mobile or get a car or a house, are we providing our social now with that, or the EIN of the trust or the
Correct.
revocable
So
trust?
that's a great question, but that goes into another document that you'll give outside of your social. So if you were getting brand new accounts, from what we have shown in the past, we actually just use the trust EIN document, right? So you can get an EIN document tomorrow, and theoretically, you should be able to get a new phone, right? Only if you have the mindset of the sole proprietor, right? Because they're going to ask you for the social. So you cannot give the T-Mobile account people your social, if that makes sense. They
So
may
I
ask,
would,
they may ask you for a guarantor, right? So they may say, hey, can you just be the guarantor for something? And we'll also use the EIN. So you don't give them your social in that instance when you're trying to get a new phone.
so the trust account EIN and also the sole proprietor EIN, is that what I hear you
No,
say?
no sole proprietor EIN. That's what it gets tricky. So I'm glad you said that. So what we teach is not to use the sole proprietor EIN to become a sole proprietor, right? Just because you get a sole proprietor EIN doesn't make you the sole proprietor, just to kind of put it out there, right? It is you. You have to use the social security card to become the sole proprietor. And I'll give an example like a grantor. Let's say if we say that you become the grantor. We talked about this in our other calls, but I don't want us to delve on it too much. I wanted to give you some of the examples of how someone used their name, right, as a member, right, as a member of university technicians, or as themselves, they just say, hey, I'm going to pay you, right? So they use the 1099A to give a gift or a payment, right? This theoretically is the same thing we're doing. So I'm just saying this was something back in 2021. As an example, you'll do for another company, another business of some sort, right? You'll be able to understand how the 1099A works. Any
Is it
questions or thoughts
1090,
to that?
is it 1099A a true promissory note? Is that what it really is?
I don't know if it's a promissory note. I think it's just a transfer of credits. I think it's a transfer of credits from one EIN or account to another EIN or account. For what we see that as long as the IRS accepts it, for some reason the 1099s go through. If the IRS does not accept the 1099, then it doesn't go through.
I think a promissory note is when you use the social security number and you sign something, whatever they put in front of you, they're going to securitize that for interest in a taxable event has occurred. And that's how we going to get our recourse from the IRS.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. Because you're filing the taxes now, you're the one that's actually putting in the power, right? They say back, Brother Vince brought up the power of attorney. So you're
Right, I
taking
know
the
what's
power.
going on. I'm an adult now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm a major. I think that's how they say it. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. And it goes into all layers because I was practicing this and I go to the one about the W-9. So you have the W-9 theory too, where you can use that. And that should close us out into the real estate too, because it jumps right into real estate as Brother Vince is explaining. So I actually have some work to do, some homework to do myself, because I have to grab some bills and things of that sort. So I wanted to go into an example I did right here, where I was able to get a W-9 for what is this place called? Dodge, I think it's called, right? The Dodge location. And I wanted to give them my W-9. So I filled out the W-9 as the trust. And when I filled it out as the trust, I wanted them to see that the trust was going to purchase the vehicle. Right. So I'm giving them only the EIN. I'm signing as trustee. This is back in 2022. I was able to get the bill, everything. They kept running the social I'm sorry, not the social. Apologies. I don't know why I said the social. They kept running the EIN and they couldn't find any type of person to be like a individual. But it for some reason their system probably said that I was able to be approved, but I guess the manager did not want me to get it until they ran my social. So I guess they stayed there for a very long time trying to figure out how did I get approved or whatever was going on without the social, right? So these are just layers of how this looks for some things that I tested out so far. I don't know why the manager is very meticulous of letting things go through. So sometimes you may have to convince maybe the branch managers at these locations. But so far, it looks as if there's credits available with your trust EIN, and this is without your social.
Mr. Wallace, on that transaction, was your application a business application or was it a normal consumer application? Did that make a difference?
And that's interesting. I think that could have been the problem because I think the guy who was putting the application in, he was ensuring that he was typing in the right info. Because sometimes you can't see their computer, you don't know what they're typing. So I
Right.
figured maybe they didn't understand. So that's why I gave them a copy of the W-9, right? So then that ensured they couldn't use my social, right? They can't ask me for my social. So I don't know. I just feel like maybe it was just a higher up decision that says, nah, we can't do it right now. We need a social or something, right? Maybe something like that could have been the reason why they didn't release the car, we'll say.
I wonder I wonder what would happen if you just did it online with like Carvana.
I don't know. I mean, but what Vince is saying is that get the bill, right? So get the bill, get the W-9 and just try to pay for it all at once instead of trying to run your credit. So when you run the credit, it actually takes, longer for approval. So instead of trying to get approval, just go ahead and file the taxes on it. What he's saying,
I
get.
like that idea too because if I go out and purchase things and acquire debt and make payments on debt, then on TV they could boast up how good the economy is doing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when we paying bills, when we being in honor, making the payments, we actually helping the economy and everything stay afloat by paying them. Like you say, take that. I guess you take the monthly budget out that we spending, and that's gonna be like our operational budget, not the Lamborghini budget and the other
Mm-hmm.
things, and we supposed to build on that.
Gotcha. So we're supposed to get out what we put in. That goes back to that principle we used to teach back in the times we first started with the 1099B principles. We always tell you to get out what you put in. So
Hmm.
you deposited whatever amount inside your account, that's how much cash you're supposed to get back at the end of the year. So
Or definitely a percentage of nothing else.
there you go. Exactly. But what we were doing, what we were missing was what Brother Vince is saying that I actually forgot about was that second B. So you file the taxes for the exact amounts on the bills, but then you do your second B to get your beneficial interest back.
Mm.
You see? So you fill out all the boxes, box A. I'm sorry, not box A is the sales proceed box, the cost basis box. And then you also put in the federal income withheld 24% that he says
Yeah,
that we're supposed to be thinking, right? So this is times
yeah,
10.
yeah.
I see exactly. I mean, we were back on this same knowledge. It's just the B was more used on the 1041 when we were actually starting out, and the IRS would send the check out for the Bs as well on the 1041s. So you have both sides. You got the social side, you can do the B, and then you also
And on
have
the
the trust side, you can do the
trust
B.
side, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why America is so beautiful, huh? And I've
There you
been
go.
working hard all this time.
Well, you got to still put in. That's what he says. As long as you start out with something, you're going to be able to get that back and you can build it up. So that's the concept, is that we're still building up that credit that you actually put in. So if I put in, for instance, the whole year I paid my utility bill, right? Let's use
Yeah.
this as an example, my utility bill.
Yeah.
I, by concept of the 1099B,
Yeah.
should be able to pay the bill back and
And
get money back from this.
yeah. Yeah. I fulfilled my what they call that, performance. I did performance on the contract.
Correct. You paid your bill the whole year, right? So we got 2 months, y'all, to pay our all our bills off so that the whole account shows is paid, right?
So you suggest they should be paid before? Because some of them, what if they, they the large amounts?
Well, you get back what you paid out in the whole year.
Oh,
Get
okay,
that
okay,
back. So
okay.
then I can use that money that I got back from the IRS to pay my
Pay it
bills in
completely.
January.
Okay.
You see, because I'm moving my money into the new year that I just got back. So I'm not trying to go to work to go pay for the bill. I'm actually using the money that taxes gave me back
To
to
pay
pay the bill.
the
Hmm.
bill for the whole year
There you go. That's it.
in
The whole
peace
year.
with God.
There you go. See, we keep trying to pay the month. See, that's another thing we used to do exercises and get out of the month-to-month payments. Y'all got
Right,
to get out of that month-to-month thing. Stop trying to pay your bills month to month. You need to pay the whole thing off the whole year. We're
right,
supposed to be paying it from January to December,
right.
the whole rent. If you got rent, pay your rent off the whole year. If you got a car payment, pay the car payment off the whole year.
The insurance.
Insurance, there you go. Pay the insurance off the whole year. We're not supposed to be trying to do the month to month. That's why this is another way. When you start doing the taxes have to be precise, right? You still got to do your own strategies and methods and techniques to do this. Like, everybody's going to do their stuff a little different. These are just the basics, you all. These are just the basics. Yeah. So the annual filing from January to December, you need the total amount that you put in your bank. How much did you put in the bank account? You use that number, what that number is, right? You're supposed to get that money back. That's according to what the clause of the 1099B is. This is phenomenal knowledge. It's still very, meticulous though. So you got to be very careful with it as well. Because you're dealing with taxes, right?
Yes.
So don't make up numbers. That's another thing. Don't make up numbers. If you can't prove it, don't do it.
Don't do it.
What's another thing we can talk about? Court cases. We talked about court cases, right? Oh yeah, that's the one I'm dealing with, right? I got to deal with the court case. I didn't even know I had to file something else.
Yeah, I've heard that one before where they file something with the clerk.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard Vincent say that statement before. And I've heard an old white man, Howard Freeman, a preacher, say that from an old video, black and white. He was cold.
Mm-hmm. So that goes back to that county record again. So for those who are new, that trust has to get on the county record, right? So wherever it is, to get it on that county record is the first step, the trust instrument, and in a way to get all this thing to work with getting the power back. That's the power of attorney right there. Then you get your 3 copies. I think the brother said get your 3 certified copies of your revocable trust. Get the 3 certified copies of the revocable living trust. It's the same information we explained about in the trust course. It's the same knowledge, actually. You got to have the certified copy of the revocable living trust. Then it has the clerk seal on it, and all these things are there on the clerk seal. Go ahead, self trust. I see your mic.
That was my question was, do you get those copies before or after the county, and you said that they had the stamp on it, so that was my question. Thank you.
That's it right there, because the clerk's seal is sealing the record. It's sealing the record that you have the trust on the record. However way
So
you
when
do
I
it, get in
so
whatever state you're in.
so I've got stuff going on in Utah and in Oregon. If I file it in or Utah, are they going to be able to see it in Oregon?
Correct. If you got a case open, it's the best time to put your trust on the record. If it's a court case, I heard someone say they had something called, possibly they call them capiases. In Florida, they call them capias. So I would firstly get this trust on the record because it's on the court case now. Now it works when you put it on the court case. So any case that you have, you can put the trust on the record.
So that means you're gonna get a certified copy from the county clerk's office and
Hmm.
then take that copy to the clerk of your case and then file it on your case.
Well, that is the clerk. What I'm saying is you take the trust, the trust documents, right, to the
Mm-hmm.
county clerk. You file it on the court case. You say, "Hey, I want to place this trust on my case." Right? Write the case number at the top. You can write the number at the top with a pen if you don't have it typed up there neat, right?
Right.
Or they may just put it on there and do it for you, whatever way it works, right? Then you got to go back. You don't. It's not over yet, right? It's not
Right.
over. You got to go back. Then you have to ask for a certified copy. Hey, can I have a certified copy of that trust that I just filed on this court case?
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
that is the proper way to see that.
Procedure.
Hmm.
Okay.
And a visual effect, because you're actually there at the courthouse. That's just those who like to walk in. You got the one you can mail to them. You can do it online, whichever way one feels to do that. I'm just giving you all the main way that most people do it if you're walking in. So that's a required step. If you're here and all of this information, Brother Vince, and you got excited and you began to think to do this, that is a required step. If you don't have that trust on the county record, it's almost impossible to feel comfortable doing any of those taxes this way that the brother explained.
It ain't gonna happen.
So I have a question.
Go ahead, brother.
So I was wondering, how do we accomplish? Because I'm in California. I don't know if anybody else is in California here, but it's been a challenge. I probably would say in the last 1 to 2 years, getting the trust recorded on the county record just being denied a few times. And I think it's just the communication with myself to the county clerk and how to record it. So my question is, how do we get the trust recorded on the county record to accomplish these other things?
That's a great question. And we can answer it in many ways, right? So one way was I got a case open right now. I got a court case. They gave me a case number.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the easiest way most of the time, even though it's an unfortunate situation. But that's one of the easiest ways to get your trust on the record, believe it or not.
Okay.
Uh, all right. The second route is you have to eloquently talk to the clerk by speaking the exact words that they want to hear
Mm-hmm.
whenever you speak of moving or placing a document on their county record, which I can't even tell you what to say because I don't know what to say. It
Right.
doesn't say that you're able to know what to say when you go into encounter them anyway. It says the Lord will teach you what to say when it's time to say it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that this is the word that the brother found out one time. He did it in another county over from the county that I was in, and he was able to accomplish this. And I was surprised that it actually worked this way. And sometimes it doesn't work in the county that you're in. You may have to travel to another county in the same state, right? So that's one
Mm-hmm.
thing as well to experience, possibly as well. Uh, but the word is estate. If you say the correct word, you say, I need to place something on the estate record.
Mm-hmm.
That may possibly work.
So I have a experience with that, and because I've gone a few times and I've heard from another friend, what I've been learning is that what could possibly be an option is the words they use is lodging. So they'll say, yeah, we can lodge this. And for me, previously when I did it, I didn't really subscribe to that term because I was so focused on doing it the way that someone told me to do it. So that might be an option that I go about when you talk about speaking to the clerk and their words that they understand. So um yeah, I do see that. I mean, I would honestly probably try to go, the first route you said by opening a case. Uh, how would I go about that if I was to open a case on myself if I don't have a case?
Correct, correct. So that is your third option. Per se, let's say the route doesn't work where we can't eloquently speak to the clerk the way they want us to
Mm-hmm.
speak, and we don't know their words and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your third option is to become a petitioner or a plaintiff in a court case, right? And some of us have taken the state to court. Some of us have taken the state to court. Some of us have decided to take somebody on your credit report. Like maybe somebody on your credit report got something on there you don't like, right? You can take them to court. So the goal is really to get the case number
Mm-hmm.
so that you can get the trust on there. It's really the whole point. But you'll also be able to, do a few things at the same time with the small claim. So we say go in with a small claim, and that's the third route. If you have some issues or some things that you didn't settle with a entity.
Hmm. So you're saying to go in, like for example, let's say I have a car loan
Correct.
right now,
Yep. There you
and
go.
I'm
Hmm.
saying, okay, well, I want to go and file a case against the people, the bank that has the car loan and the lien on the car loan, and I
Hmm.
would take them uh I would file a case against that bank or with my trust though, not with my social. It would
No,
be
you do
my
it with your social because whatever you sign the contract with, if it's your
okay.
social, you use your social, right? Your name. So then you would just basically that case would go, hey, I'm just going to do a check to make sure that they have my original contract or my promissory note that I signed when I got this car. That's really your main reason of doing the small claims for almost everything that you do. A case I said that most of us win. Yeah, so you will win if they can't pull a contract that they can prove that they have a contract with you. Most of the time, most of us always will win if we know what to say in court.
Okay, and how would that accomplish putting my trust on the record? Because that was the original.
Right. So once you have the case number open, right, you're
Uh,
now able to take the documents to the clerk and easily place it on the court case.
okay.
You see, but that's the third route. That's if you choose to do that third one, which is route C, right? So you got A, you got B, and you got C. So if you did C, that will be a little bit more of a claim. You're making a claim against something, right?
Yeah, that
But
sounds a little more extensive. But the first one you mentioned was opening a case on myself. What was that
no, no,
about?
no, no. We never said open a case on yourself. We said you just take your trust and you file it on the record. You take it and you just take the trust in.
Okay.
The second one is someone already has a case open. That's route B. The case is already
Okay.
open. They already got a case number. That's route B. Route C is you create your own case number.
And that would be what we just talked about. Okay.
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
Or,
Go
or
ahead, Blue.
what
Go ahead,
about
Blue
if you
Nova.
got what about if you got property? Do you own property? Can't you do it that way? Put it on the deed?
Yeah, you do a quick claim. You have to do that. If you have you don't have to open a case for that. That'll be easily able to be done with documents. And you would
Hmm.
just tell them I filed it on the estate department for my property, right? Um, I have I have a document to file for my property, and then you give it to them. Then they file it on the record with your trust. So that's your next thing. You added your trust behind that. Let's say you already got property. That's
Hmm.
another way that you can get your trust on the record as well for those who already have property, right?
Right. Okay. So yeah, that was also something I was thinking too. Like that would be a little easier if I
Hmm.
have some property, which I don't right now. But that might be a way I go about that.
And then
No,
and
no
then
problem.
at my county, what they had did is I think they like changed the offices where we doing this at. Like at one point it was upstairs in my county, now it's downstairs, you know.
Wow.
So they might have been adjusting to the movement. I don't know.
I'm trying to pull the switcheroo on you.
Right. And like he say, the people we dealing with don't might not necessarily have the same language we have.
Right.
So
No, they
you,
don't.
you might have to go back a few times. That's when they talk about the spirit part. Cause one time you're gonna go and you're gonna meet the right person and it's gonna happen for you. Cause it didn't happen easy for me either. It was like, you know, I was an alien or something, speaking another language.
So my
No,
question
well,
on that is so with that being said, he mentioned also going to another county. Would that be because I've moved from the county and things like that as well. So would that, because the trust was open in one county, would it make a difference if I went to file it on the record in, say, a county, a few miles away? Like, would that make a difference on
No,
that?
absolutely not. No, you can as long as it's in the state that you're in, that makes it a lot
Oh wow.
easier to put it
Okay.
on the record in your state.
Oh, beautiful. I'm gonna try that tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, it can be any county that you can just call them and say, "Hey, I have a trust, I have a revocable living trust, I got some property, and I need to see if I can file it on your estate record." But you got to call them, so you want to kind of make sure you communicate it in a way that
Hmm.
that'll make sense to them.
Got it.
You got to use
And
the
you're
words they want to hear.
okay. And you're saying that once this is filed on the county record, then the taxes will be able to have a smooth transition. Is that correct?
That is correct. Absolutely. It's just required. It's a required step of our revocable trust courses that we say everybody who takes our courses, you have to go through this step. What you're saying you're working on right now, which is great. We got people that have to get started. They haven't got started yet.
Got it. Got it. And
Um,
okay, yeah, I don't want to take up too much about the question.
But no problem. We got what's his trust? Self
yeah,
trust. And we got
yeah, I've been
Raymond
doing.
Allen next.
Oh, cool. Thanks. Just some feedback on that. I've before the revocable, I went to two separate counties and filed a revocable trust, but I went and said that it had power of attorney. I was doing a quick claim deed, and I need to file this trust document. And both of them, I mean, it worked smooth. I don't know. Maybe other counties are different. But I did have a quick question on the cases because I'm looking forward to shutting some down. I do have a few. Would you only put one on that county document when you found the irrevocable trust, or do you put all the cases? And then, I mean, do you file those with a court afterwards, or do they get their their own way somehow?
Well, this is the thing. If the case is already closed, then or the case has already been resolved, your goal is now to get the beneficial interest of the case. So it's not like you're fighting them anymore. You're like, hey, will I accept all the credits for the case? I apologize for the charges. I'm now going to file my taxes, right? So the brother brought a good point is that we're not going to fight them if the case is closed or or is closing, right? If it's a new case or it's ongoing, like right now, you can then stop the case by doing this process or this not process, we'll say these steps. So I don't know the stage of where you're saying the case is. So you got to give me an example. Are you saying the case is still pending or are you saying the case could be closed?
There's some that are open and some that are pending. There's a few that have judgments. Been attempting to go every single possible way, standing, riding. Never go, or I don't go into court unless it is by duress. And I've gone to purgatory and jail a few times, just traveling and attempting to go by contract law and all that stuff. So I have cases that go to the state of Oregon and Utah, and then also with divorce, child support, and things of that nature. So I've attempted the bonds and 1099s and 56Fs and stuff. I'm not to this level though. It just never really made sense. So it is really clicking. It's just kind of the fine point at this point.
Yes,
So
yes. So I kind of see exactly where you're going. So let me give you a kind of a straight answer now that I understand where you're going with that. So let's say, for instance, I go to my county court docket report, right? Or they say that you can look at all of the cases on my docket, right? So what I'm saying is you'll have to file taxes for each of those cases that's showing in their county. So if you have 3 counties or 2 counties, whatever, you go to each county and you have to get the case numbers of each of those counties, and you will be filing the taxes on that, on each of those court cases. It's your bond amount. So use your bond amount. So let's say the bond is $10,000. Let's say the bond is 6,000. Let's say the bond is 20,000, whatever that is, right? That is what the case has to be filed for. Does that make sense? And then we got Raymond Allen. I know you got the next mic as well to help answer that question for security trust. Does that answer the
All I was gonna say was share my experience with the clerk office to file my trust. And I did have to go up there a couple of times, but what ended up happening is I didn't allow them to just send me away, and they end up getting the attorney. And when the attorney came out and looked at it, the attorney explained to them that I was correct in whatever I was doing, and she went ahead and took care of it. So I would suggest that you communicate and then just politely ask for the attorney. That goes over everyone's head because only the attorney actually knows what the document is and what it's supposed to do.
great. That's a great point as well.
So there's an attorney at the county clerk. Is that what you're mentioning?
Correct. The county attorney, actually, the county attorney.
Okay, and they're usually on. Are they request as they come on request, or they usually
They,
just work?
they in the back. They in the back working.
Okay. Okay.
That is true. That means that they're power of attorney. Then they're probably paying power of attorney for the attorney. Makes sense. Okay, self trust. Was that answered? That was the last part of that question for you for the cases. So you got to
think
get that.
so.
Well, did you get the trust instrument? The main thing is to know that the trust instrument has to be on the county record for you to
Great.
even work on those cases, right? So you have to get a trust on the court case if the case is open. That's why I asked if they were open. So yes, that's a great time for you to put the trust in place and then put it on the court case. Then once you get on the court case, you're gonna go get a certified copy from the county clerk, and then you'll have that certified copy that Brother Vince was talking about.
Now this is only the revocable. If I have a irrevocable, because I don't have the EIN for the revocable trust yet, do I have to wait for the EIN for the revocable trust, or could I do a irrevocable trust because I have one of those?
That is the correct answer is unfortunately you cannot use the irrevocable yet. You do have to wait to get the EIN for the revocable is what he mentioned as well as getting the trust instrument for yourself to protect your social. So you get the trust instrument to protect you from the social, right? You take all the interest from the social with the trust instrument. Then you get the EIN for the trust instrument. So now that the interest is taken from the social security card to the EIN, you're now able to file your taxes for the social easily, right? So that is the reason why you would want to have the trust instrument in place on the county record.
And when I'm filling out the revocable trust, I just found you this week. I've watched, I think, 18 of your videos. Do you have a specific video that goes over how to fill out for a revocable trust so I am able to do that?
I do. It is one on our website. It is something I can send to you. So if I can, I'll just add you to that list and just send it over to you.
Cool.
And hopefully
Yeah.
that will answer some of your questions. We also have a trust studies plan that you want to look on our website. It's every 2 weeks. Or if you just want to take one of our courses, it is a full walkthrough where we go through every step and layer that you need, especially for the trust.
Okay, cool. Because I'm in a really interesting spot. I live a very spiritual life. I live my life by donation, and it's really curious getting back into the finance and tax world. And I would love to work more intimately with you on these processes. And I was noticing that, I mean, in a financial situation where I am, I see those numbers on the website, and I go, well, I'm ready to move forward now. If I do a 1099A and a 1099B for all of your programs and then get credits for those. I mean,
Right, exactly,
yeah,
precisely.
I'm ready
Precisely.
to
We
do
have
that. Yeah, like how
well,
do I do that?
we have what you say
Uh,
is the concept that you're speaking of is called bartering. So bartering is available through university technicians where there is something called credits, or you'll see on your profile, if you get a profile, it has points where
I
you're able
did.
to
I
actually
saw that.
generate
Yeah.
you're able to
Okay.
generate coupons and all these things. So I know that people are not using those coupons or those points, but they do pay for your monthly bill or your grantor membership, all these things that it shows. But you have to practice bartership. I can't make you practice bartership, right? But the payments in PayPal is another way to pay as well. So you can pay with PayPal, you can pay with your points, you can also pay with um, other payable instruments that are valuable, right? So we want to just make everything easy, but at the same time, I believe that if you all get the funds or the money through the Treasury or the IRS, it'll be a lot more fulfilling to get it from them than from me to get it from you, right? Because then it's just more of like, hey, I got the funds, I have the money, it doesn't matter, right? I can do the same thing, right? Let's say if I just did the same process Brother Vince just gave me, right? And I just disappear, right? I don't have to do anything. I just got all this funds and everything is done, right? What would be the purpose? I would have no purpose, right? So I have to do something. So I figured that's why we have to practice. We have to practice this barter and trade with each other. And this is the best way to do these things through our own profiles, digital profiles. So I hope that helps with understanding what you mentioned about doing the 1099A and the B. Yes, that does help you create credits if you need to do that. That is what they do all the time in the government. The government does tax forms and they write off things all the time.
Wow. So a lot. So if there was a foundation or some, how would I say this? So if there's a revocable trust that wants to purchase my artwork, could we do the same process with a 1099A and B and get the credit for it? And if we had a contract and exchanged the W-9 and had that in place, it's basically like buying off a car or a home, but we could do this with artwork
Correct.
as well.
Correct. That is correct. That is right. So if
Beautiful.
you had artwork, if you had a service, right? That's what the 1099B says, right? I didn't say this. This is what it says. If you have a service or if you offer maybe a product or you have something that you can trade, that is the 1099B, right? That is what it says. So we'll talk about that more and later if we can get into the real estate because that is what our main call was about. And we're going to close us out. It's about 8:13. I know that our time went back because of the daylight savings. But thank you all for your wonderful questions and all your thoughts. Did we get all of the questions out for most of the people that had to ask any of these hard questions for today? We want to make sure you have everything that you need before you get started. And if there's anything that can seem confusing, these are the times that we want to ask these questions and talk about it at these times. So we open up for this last part, and I'll close us out with the real estate, and we'll get into that next week as well. Okay, so yes, the answer will be they'll be claiming everything with the 1099B. The A, the B, with your social, and if it's your trust, it's just the B. You don't have to do the A for the trust. It's just the B. Okay, so we got our last part for today. We'll talk about is the real estate. I won't be able to get too far into this. I just want to show you all a technique and method, and I'm going to close out and get ready for this week. So what you're going to do is I showed you earlier a W-9. Once you understand the W-9, that's going to get you to the next part of the taxes, because the W-9 enters taxes with doing business with people out in the world. Where's my diagram? I don't have a diagram that's showing it. Trust walkthrough. Nope, that's not it. There we go. I think this is it. Trust steps. So the real estate, that is what we need to get next. So let me see if I can find the EIN. Here you go, the grantor trust. All right, here we go. I'll pull this up so maybe we can look at this and see what I mean about the EIN. And hopefully that'll close us out for the real estate to know what you're going to use this week as you practice how to get your real estate. Okay, so on the IRS website, when you choose the correct one, do not choose the sole proprietor EIN. You're going to choose the trust EIN. So all the way down here, this is what you want to scroll into. So if you created another EIN tomorrow, even if you created a brand new business, this is where the IRS tells you how to do this. So you go to irs.gov and it says EIN assistant, and it goes through all the steps of how to apply for a new EIN. No, you don't pay for this. This is free. So I'm giving you all free information where you're able to use this freely. And what this does, this allows you to get that EIN to be able to hold that real estate. Let's say you want to buy property that you want to call Supreme Land Holdings or something, not holdings, let's say Supreme Land, housing, Supreme Land Housing. You can create a trust for that name I just said, Supreme Land Housing. These are the things that you do with the trust. Of course, it says irrevocable trust, it says revocable. You're just going to choose the trust all others. Trust all others is another option that you'll choose, but you'll see that later on as you click into this option right here. The revocable trust is just going to be for the EIN that you'll use for the trust instrument. So that's two trust EINs that you'll have. So you have the revocable trust EIN. You also have a trust all others EIN. So I just want to give you all just how this looks once you get into the system. If you decided to do this on your own, yes, we do have a way of walking you through and helping you get through all the steps. But we just want to make sure that you don't choose the right answer. If you do choose to get out there, just get out there and just make sure that you choose the right answer. Don't go to sole proprietor. So today we say do not do this. Don't choose sole proprietor. Make sure you choose trust. All right, so I hope that answers that. That's going to be for entering into our real estate. I'll get into more things next week because we used up most of our time, and that'll help us into how to buy real estate, because we know how to deal with the taxes now. So we'll understand how to buy real estate, which I'm working on right now myself. I haven't fully been able to finish this contract or this agreement for real estate that I'm working with. So hopefully this will work the way that we're explaining it once the tax software opens up for November. I think it's open now. Let me see if it's open for that software that we're supposed to talk about. I think it's tax1099.com. Let's see if it's open up. If you all haven't seen it yet, have you all ever logged in the last weeks or so? If you haven't, then start logging back into your tax software. If you've taken our courses, make sure you log back into your tax software. It's very important. Important that you understand how to use this software to do those 1099s that we talked about tonight. So right here, it'll show how you can sign in. I'll just go through an example of what I mean. Hopefully I can sign in really fast. It doesn't stop me from any emails or what they call password problems. Okay, so I don't have my password here. I don't know it, so it's not gonna
Can
work.
we get the EINs both in one day, or do we have to spread them out?
I think they only allow one EIN per day. I think one EIN per day. Okay, it worked. I used my Google login. All right, so this is an example of how it looks once you get into the system of your your dashboard for your 1099s. So let's go to some of the forms and let's see if it opens up. Oh, okay, so look, tax year 2025 is open, you all. So we're now able to see some of the forms. And look at this, voila, look at November. He's right. They just opened up the 1099Bs for November. So we can file 2025 actually right now. Or we can wait till the end of December, or you can probably tally up everything towards the end of the year and do your 1099B for now. Wow, this is amazing. So those who all understand this, who's worked with our courses, you understand this software because we talk about it a lot. So I'll talk about some of the other forms that we'll be using is the, of course, we said the W-9. So you need the W-9 complete. Next is your sales agreement / lease agreement. So if you have that, that'll be one of your first ones you want to do so that you can do the taxes on what you have for the lease agreement. The 1099 OID and the 1099B. Those are new things that most people haven't been introduced to, but the 1099 OID is for certain contracts that you have already open. You can deal with the 1099 OID. The 1099B is also filed, like Brother Vince mentioned, so you're able to do that as well. But we're actually going to focus on the 1099B for today. So I may just X out the 1099 OID and make sure that you just use the 1099B only, because this may be for old contracts that someone may have for maybe real estate from like 10 years ago or something, right? So more than likely a OID is dealing with your real estate because it's been in your social. You haven't got any beneficial interest in like 10 years, right? Next is number 4 is your real estate line of credit. That's your RELOC. You'll be using this 1099B to actually create your real estate line of credit. And last, number 5 is your cash flow plan for property. So yes, you have to get property. Yes, you have to get stuff, but you have to learn how to maintain it, use it, and it has to do things. So we're going to talk about how you can utilize that cash flow plan for your property as well. I'm going to click right here to just give you all an intro to the B. This is how it looks real quick. Pretty fast form that you fill out. Once you understand what to put for each of these answers, you'll understand what to put for your numbers. This is what he was speaking of today. This will help you all kind of go into your homework for this whole week. If you want to jump into the taxes, this be one of your first forms that you want to deal with. All right. So if any questions or thoughts before I close us out, it's 8:22 for our time, Eastern Daylight Time. Hope I went over everything as I can, and we'll get into more ways of how you're able to pay for buying real estate or using real estate with your trust. You'll be able to use your trust EIN to file taxes for those things as well. And if you already have the real estate in your social, you're able to also file taxes that are in your social side, according to what Brother Vince is saying as well. So if you're able to do it on the social side, this is the 1040. If you're going to do it on the trust side, it is the 1041. Any questions or thoughts for tonight before we close out?
Do you have any specific videos on your website that go into the 1099B and OID and A's?
Right. So yeah, we have a section that says videos. So you can go to universitytechnicians.com/videos. There is a section where you can see past times that we did lives on the 1099s and things of that sort. And I'll also get a video over to you if you just message us. Just go straight to our website and chat. Then I'll be able to know that was you, universitytechnicians.com. And then we can go ahead and get that answer to you for the other video that you mentioned as well.
Great. Thank you. I look forward to
Thank you
starting.
all. Thank you all for everything. If you have any last thoughts, questions, or anyone else for tonight. If not, so we're going to close us out. Thank you all for coming in. Have a great rest of the week.